On the 25th of April 2015, a huge earthquake shook Nepal. Since then, aftershocks have worsened the situation. Buildings lay ruined. Those lucky to escape now live with family or neighbours, or on the streets. I've been invited here by Preston charity Deafway to see what life is like post-earthquake for the people of Nepal, specifically deaf people. The charity is working to ensure every deaf adult and child in the country has access to education. The earthquake and the more recent fuel crisis is making that more difficult than ever. David Hines is the chief executive of Deafway. He's here to look at how the earthquake damaged the charity's projects in Nepal and weigh up how much money needs to be raised back home in the UK to fix it. Our first trip was to the village of Kirtipur, where people are very much still seeing the effects of the natural disaster. Maina is deaf. She's one of many adults who've been given access to sign language, education and friends through Deafway's Older and Vulnerable Deaf Persons project. 9 months since the earthquake happened, she and her mother are still living with other family members. Their house, a pile of rubble. Her words are spoken by an interpreter.
The two, the mother and daughter, they used to live in this house, and after this earthquake, the first floor, the slab of the first floor just came and it was situated like a slope. Unfortunately, again this earthquake came at 12 May, which collapsed all the house. Right now they are living with their brother in another house.
It became apparent very quickly on this trip that material possessions really don't mean that much. Having family is far more important. There is a concern among people, though, that Nepal's government could be withholding funds raised after the earthquake, leaving houses in disrepair so long after the disaster. From a Western perspective, it's hard to imagine how people continue to live in these conditions. But there's a great resilience here, and the deaf community in particular struggled to get information about help in the aftermath of the quake, with news outlets all tailored towards hearing people. But their spirits remain high, and they're extremely proud to be deaf. These are people that wouldn't have had any method of communicating if it wasn't for Deafway's work to teach sign language. And so, in a time of struggle, they remain grateful for the friends and the education they might not have had thanks to a Lancashire charity.